Hey guys, what's up? Lewin here at GarageBand and Beyond. Welcome back. So today I'm going to finally talk about the big new thing in my studio, which is the Focusrite Saffire Pro 40. And actually I'm using it, to record the audio right now. So I'm not going to pick the device up and show it to you, but here's the box at least to prove to you that I got it. And then of course, here are some pictures if you want to see some actual close-up pictures of one. But, so I was in the market for an interface like I'm sure many of you are, or, might be for the first time or for the second time, who knows. I had an audio box from PreSonus, so the PreSonus audio box USB that was pretty much, well, it's my second interface, and I loved it. I did an incredible amount of work with that thing, and it, served me very, very well. But obviously I needed more channels, and that was becoming a real issue for me because I wanted to record drums and stuff like that. And so I did a ton of research, and, I was, of course, looking at the PreSonus. I looked at all of them, all of the 8-channel interfaces for home recording. I looked at them all. Now, the reason that I was definitely leaning towards Focusrite is because a lot of the professional studios that I've worked at in the past, we always used Focusrite preamps, Focusrite, all sorts of Focusrite things, a lot of the preamps. So I was really familiar with the quality and just the overall, like the sonic quality, the quality of the construction, all of it. Focusrite always stuck in my head as like, that's a really good company and I really like their products. So anyway, you can go onto their website and look at all the details, all the how many ins and outs and all that kind of stuff. But there are a couple key features that made me choose the Focusrite over everything else. And, for price and everything, the Focusrite really seemed like the best choice to me. And primarily, I'm going to say this right off the bat, as far as from what I saw, the Focusrite is the only one, and you guys can feel free to correct me, but from what I saw, it was the only one that I saw that had in its own internal processor, which relieved my system of a lot of, the work that the interface would be doing, including all of the plugins that come from Focusrite. So there's a compressor, there's reverbs, there's gates, there's EQs, all that stuff. All the processing from that is done inside the device itself. It's a FireWire device. And so that was a big thing for me because one of the things that allows you to do is compress signals on the way in. So that was like a no-brainer. Once I figured out that was the Focusrite could do that, I was like, I want the Focusrite. Now, you're probably like saying, like, I don't have a compressor, and why can't I just compress it later or whatever? But when you're recording things like vocals, guitars, drums, pretty much everything, I've always used my little, I had the Comp 16 from PreSonus, right? But I had one of them. So it was like one channel of compression. It was extremely difficult to do. Pianos, stuff like that were very challenging, especially, anything with more than one microphone. It was like, oh gosh, now I can compress every single channel on the way in, and it is astounding, and it's so awesome to be able to do that. So, what I'm talking about here, and let's just start looking at stuff instead of hearing me talk quite so much. Here's the compressor that I'm talking about. And if you look right here, under the left VU meter, it has an output and an input switch. So this is where I can just tell the device, like I'm going to be compressing like a recorded signal, I would use the output, or I want to record a signal that's on its way into the computer, I would put it on input. You want to compress a lot of things, especially on the way in. Drums are ideal candidate for this, vocals especially, just because there's so many peaks and valleys, and there's quiet parts and there's loud parts, especially in a vocal performance, that can be really difficult to track properly without a compressor on the front end of that signal as it's coming into your computer. So in the past you had to have some sort of external compressor, and now with the Focusrite Saffire Pro 40, you no longer need that. In fact, I think it's actually across the board for the Saffire series that they all have that little internal compressor, and they all do that. They all have these things. So like the compressor, and let me show you some other stuff. Here's the EQ, which is, this was actually essential for me. Like, I was struggling in the latest Sunshine Superman video. I was really struggling with my kick drum sound. I really was like, I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it. And then I was coming through and I looked at the EQ settings on here, and they had one called Clicky Kick, which is exactly what I was trying to get. And I set that in there, and it suddenly, like, the kick drum was just booming just the way I wanted it to be. If you do want to hear this song, this is one of the best things I've ever recorded in my studio. There's a link below, or maybe I'll put one over here or here. I don't know yet. But anyway, you click that link and hear the whole song, and that, that's the first project that I've done with the Focusrite. And if you want to hear the difference between the Focusrite and the audio box, just listen to the older recordings. The song is called Say You Missed Me. It's Sunshine Superman PA, that channel. And that's the only song that I've recorded so far with the Focusrite from beginning to end. So that's, and then anything previous to that on that channel, it was all recorded on the audio box. So that's a really good way to hear the difference. And there's a large difference, especially to my ears. I mean, I was the guy with the PreSonus, and now I'm the guy with the Focusrite. So I'm going to notice the difference the most, obviously. But so anyway, let's keep looking at some of the stuff that it comes with, because these are great. So like I said, there's the compressor, there's an EQ, there's a noise gate right here, which is very, very, very great. And it's a lot better. Although you see me using the GarageBand noise gate right here, it is a lot better than the GarageBand one. But in this case, actually, the GarageBand one was doing exactly what I needed it to do, so it wasn't a big problem. But I will use this in the future. And then it also comes with a reverb, which is a very nice thing to have, especially if you're sort of stuck with just the GarageBand reverbs, which I'm not. But if you are one of those people, this comes with a bunch of, this reverb in it. And it's a very, very nice sounding reverb. It's really good for pianos, really good for voice, and definitely the drums. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. So anyway, the Focusrite. Oh, the last thing I wanted to talk about this. When I was buying this thing, so I paid, I think it was somewhere around $500 for this, which is pretty much the going rate online for these. But I would highly, highly recommend that you look for the bundle packages. I got this thing for the normal, like, eBay or, Amazon price. Like I said, it was like $450, $500, right in that area. And but I got it with every single cable that you would possibly need to plug into it. So that includes all the XLR cables, the light pipe cables, the Firewire cable, all the stuff. Any cable that can go into this, my bundle pack came with that, and I really recommend that, because that was one of the things that was worrying me when I bought, when I was thinking about upgrading. I was like, oh, that means I have to buy, X amount of cables and all the stuff. I have 8 channels now, so I would need a lot more microphone stands and a lot more microphone cables and stuff like that. But getting the bundle package made it, a lot easier. So that's it. As far as the Focusrite Saffire Pro 40, all I can do is give it 2 thumbs up. I love, love, love it. Excuse me, I'm really trying not to cough too much. Anyway, you guys, have a great day. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments below. I'll answer them as quickly as possible. If you're looking for an interface, definitely get the Focusrite Saffire Pro 40. Is that what it's called? Yeah, that's what it's called. Anyway, you guys, thanks as always. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget, I do have my home recording shopper studio list on my website. If you're a beginner in this world and in the home recording world and you have no idea what to buy, go to my website, sign the list, and you get a free, itemized, detailed shopping list. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.